Hey guys, how's everyone doing? Sorry I've been away for a while. I'll maybe do a video and tell you more about it when I'm ready. But at the moment, this isn't about me. So, I was going to do a video, and I've got one coming discussing the sugars and their despicable conspiracy theories regarding Princess Catherine. But first of all, I skirted over to X and decided to see what old Shola has to say about things. And boy, this I don't know what to call it. The word starts with a B and ends with an itch. This Yeah, she doesn't disappoint. First of all, she's had this pinned post on her profile since 2020. When is she gonna change it? My God, Shola, that's 4 years ago. Anyway, so let's see what's on here. Let's have a look at it together. Let's see. Here she is here. So how did Dr. Cyril and Dr. Uju, sorry I can't say these names, Anya become, oh God, so I can't read these names, so you have to please excuse me. So I don't know if they got engaged or not. The ring's that small. The zoom feature, the zoom feature doesn't even work enough to see it. What the heck? Where's the ring? Is that it there? It looks like a. I don't know. Yeah. I definitely wouldn't be smiling like that. Oh no, sorry. Wait, are these two women, or is that a guy? I don't. Is that a guy or a woman? Sorry, I'm not being trying to be rude or anything. I think it's a woman. God, is that her ass? Look at the size of that. Sorry, it's just the way the fabric's is it like the fabric's sticking out? That can't surely be her backside. Maybe it is. Who am I to talk? Yeah. Anyway, congratulations on your engagement. So here we are. Let's look to here. She's talking about Sudan, the most global outrage at the catastrophic famine and genocide and humanitarian crisis in Sudan. Yeah, it's sad. Yeah, pretty sad. But she's mentioned. I didn't know she would mention this because she always finds reasons to critique our country, but never Nigeria, and especially if it's anything to do with certain groups in Nigeria, terrorist groups. Anyway, good news: the 287 school children kidnapped. Kaduna school children regained their freedom after 16 days in captivity. I notice she doesn't mention who kidnapped them, and it was a form of Al Qaeda, I believe, either Al Qaeda or ISIS, but no, some people were murdered, and loads of school children were taken hostage. And in Nigeria, it's illegal to pay ransoms when people are kidnapped. The government there have made it a law to try and discourage terrorists from kidnapping people and then demanding ransoms, because if they think that they're going to get the ransom paid over and over again, they're going to continue to do it, even though they still do it anyway. It's a double-edged sword, I guess, because you obviously want your loved one back, but because it's so you what's your loved one worth? Your loved one's worth the world to you, isn't it? You'd pay you pay your own life for your loved one, but because it's illegal, you can't pay ransoms. But it's good that the children have been handed back. But God, like the trauma that they must feel. I notice like she never ever mentions, and I've looked on her posts periodically, not over the last like couple of weeks or so, but I noticed she never mentions, or she's never mentioned one jot about the hostages that Hamas have taken captive in Gaza. I mean, one of them turned one years old while in captivity, and his brother, who's with him as well, he's only 3. One of the hostages, a female, she turned 31 today. 161 days, I believe, these hostages have been in captivity. No one knows if they're dead. No one knows like what their own, what if they've got need medical assistance. Hamas actually put out a video. It's horrific. I wouldn't even advise anybody to watch them. Watched the footage of the GoPros that Hamas aired on Telegraph, because they've actually got a website. Imagine that. Hamas has got a website, Hamas.com, and all their videos and pictures are on there. But yeah, it's horrific, absolutely horrendous, like this footage where they're burning people alive and beheading people. They put a baby in an oven. They were shooting babies in the head at point blank range. They tied like mothers and their kids up together, and put a tire with petrol, it looked like, inside like the tire. It's a term called necklacing, I think it's called. They do it a lot in South Africa, and then they set the tire on fire. So it's basically your head's on fire, basically, and it's meant to be one of the most horrendous and painful ways to die. But going back to like the hostage, they put a video out of this young Israeli guy. I think sorry, my Scottish accent's come through there. I think he was 23, and they showed the video of him just like staring at the camera to begin with, and then what they do to him is it's horrendous. They make him put his hand on a table, and then they smash a hammer on it. They cut his fingers off. They hit his like face, breaking his jaw with the hammer. They also like hit his arm, and you like it, where your shoulder and your elbow, so the bone and that bone there, I don't know what it's called, I'm not a medical professional. They actually break that, and you actually you can see it abnormally shaped where the bones broke. It looks like he's got like 2 elbows, and then they pull his teeth out, and then they remove one of his eyes, and he's still alive. Well, they're absolutely horrendous. And then the next video, the next part of the video, all you see is blood everywhere, and him lying dead, face, his jaw's broken. It's like I literally had nightmares, and I still do have nightmares after watching that. I shouldn't have watched any of these videos because like my mental health's been really bad lately, and it uh, brought back up like PTSD and stuff like that. So yeah, it was a bad idea to watch those videos, but I heard so many people saying that oh, it's lies. This never happened. It was the IDF that did it. The Hamas fighters, or the terrorists, but the people who support them call them freedom fighters. They never killed any civilians. All these deaths, the beheadings and the burning of people alive and things like that, are just made up by Israel to disparage um, uh, Gaza. And what was even worse is like there was over like 4,000 of them like went into Israel, and only 1,000 of them were actual Hamas fighters. 3,000 of the people that joined in were civilians that lived in Gaza. That's enough about. Excuse me, that's enough about me talking about that, because I don't want to be. It depresses me just even thinking about it. But anyway, what I was saying there is, you don't hear her mention one word about the terrorists. Look, some of the comments have said, those nasty white people again. Yeah. School children in Nigeria say they will kill them all if... Yeah, so there's like a post there about the ransom, if the ransom's not paid. So, as I says, I know it's like a law that ransom's not to be paid, but I'm wondering, because if they're children, maybe they did pay it. The gunmen who kidnapped the school children in Nigeria on Thursday have demanded a ransom of 1 billion naira, which is $621 and $848, yeah, and threatened to kill all of the students if their demands are not met. A member of the local community told CNN on Wednesday. Now, we know barbarians like this, I mean, people that can like literally kidnap children, people that can murder children, burn them alive, behead, bake a baby in the ovens. We know what these people are capable of. So when they say they're going to execute children, like yeah, believe them. So I'm wondering if the government did pay the ransom, because 287 dead children, that would have an outcry from the Nigerian public to the government. So I would have to look more into that. Focusing, that's amazing news. But yeah, so, and then hope you're enjoying some spring weather too. Okay. Richard Taylor's death. This shouty out for. To those who say never meet your heroes are wrong. Had a wonderful evening last night at Soho House. I didn't know Shouty was a member of Soho House. Where is she? Oh wait, now is that guy for GB News? What's his name? Patrick Christie. Is it? Albie. He's on GB News as well. I like Joe. Interesting. Oh, here's a video. What's in this?
That's like nothing I've ever known. I mean, how are you coping with that and sort of dealing with that in the public domain? Because you're obviously that people want to get an understanding.
International Day for the Elimination of Racial Discrimination. Shouty's one of the biggest proponents of racial discrimination. God, this woman's like one of the biggest race baiters in Britain. Let's hear what she has to say about this. This should be a laugh.
Standing of how to cope with the crisis that we're seeing.
I'm not dealing with it well. I'm going to be perfectly honest. I'm human. I'm getting angrier by the day. Now, some people will say, well, she's always angry. But I promise you, this is like next level anger that is, it's kind of rooted in this profound sense of powerlessness. Because I really feel, what can I do?
I playing the victim like normal. Poor me, boo.
Not as powerful as these countries who are making incredibly terrible decisions, placing populations at risk of genocide, of famine. I mean, it's mind-boggling that in 2024 we've learned nothing from history. I'll be honest, it's soul-wrenching for me to see children being deprived of food and water, for me to see people, innocent people, being ethnically cleansed and being exterminated.
What about you? Where the now, Shouty? Didn't your ancestors sell their own people, splitting families apart? Put them on ships. Well, wait, now they first put them in cages on a beach to be then loaded onto ships, and then some would die starvation, some would die from sickness. Yeah, kind of interesting that you're so perplexed about this. You're from a family with a genocidal background. What nerve she's got.
I don't know anybody that can see what is going on, whether it's in Gaza, in Congo, in Sudan, and all these other places, and they'll go, what the heck are we doing? How are we allowing this to happen?
I bet you that's what your family. I bet you that's what the people that your family ruled over thought. Like, what the heck is happening? How are we allowing this to happen? How are we allowing these elite, pompous monarchs to steal our children and steal us from our homeland and sell us into slavery? What, you cheeky bitch? Honestly, you absolute cheeky bitch.
And for a lot of people, because I've kind of got to the point where I'm like, look, whatever I have is what I'm going to use. I'm going to stop feeling powerless. In fact, I can't help but not feel powerless compared to, say, the military power, the economic power, and so forth of states, of nation states. Okay, I have nothing compared to them, but I do have my voice and I do have my platform.
No, we know you have your voice and your platform. You use it to spout your race-baiting nonsense all the time. I cannot believe this woman is sitting here complaining about genocide and people going through hardships in other countries and dying and that. When our own family history... I wish a journalist had the nerve to ask this woman that. How can you sit there and talk about this when your own family history, your own family tree is marred in the blood of the people that you stole from their homes and sold into slavery? I really wish someone would ask her, well, Princess Shola, we know you don't use that name because you don't want, you think that people not knowing that you're a princess, and where you're originally from and who your dad and like his dad and etc. was. You think if they don't know that, they won't be able to ask the question. Well, you're from a family that didn't you sell slaves to to fund your lifestyle, to buy the palaces and the fancy mansions and the private schools, and all the other wealth that was amassed through selling of their own people. Yeah, I just wish someone would ask that. She's always touting for reparations. I wish someone would say to her, well, where's the reparations that you owe the people whose life you basically stole, whose children you kidnapped, because they were young and maybe and fit, so you sold them into indentured servitude, chattel slavery, just so you could have a few nicer things, so your family could be that little bit more richer. She's such a bloody hypocrite.
And I do have, I don't know, I have a soul. So even if I don't have a
A
platform,
soul! I didn't know Shouty was a comedian too. You've got a soul, Shouty. Could have fooled me.
I have a voice. I will use what God has given me. And part of the reason why I say I'm not dealing with it well is because, to be honest with you, Jeremy, you're going to find some of my social media posts that lack any form of patience. I'm so way past patience. Like, oh, maybe I should write this.
I can't listen to any more of your guff. You've always been, you claiming like your recent posts are so, they're not patient anymore. You've never been patient. You've always been a rude, arrogant bitch. Like, excuse my language, but that's the truth of the matter. You've always been a nasty race baiter. And yeah, and that's my entire opinion of you. Let's see what else is on your Twitter. So, what's this? Karma is why I'm dancing on your white ancestors' graves. This bold, beautiful, brilliant, badass black woman is their worst nightmare and my ancestors' dream. I am your nemesis. What? I don't... Right, okay, let's unpack this. You've got a high opinion of yourself, Shouty. You're bold. You're beautiful. I mean, like, yeah. You give, like, what's that god? What was it? That was the person. It wasn't. I don't know if it was a god or it was. I can't recall. But was it Narcissus? The name Narcissus come from? Who it's a story of a guy who loved himself so much he couldn't stop staring into a mirror. Yeah. That's bold and beautiful, brilliant as well. Oh, immense a monster here. And badass. God, like Shola said, if Shola was chocolate, she'd eat herself. I'm telling you. There'd be nothing left. Not even a crumb on her lips. Anyway, and is their worst nightmare. That's why I'm dancing on your white ancestors' graves. Like, how dare you say something like that? That's disgusting. Like, Shouty, our ancestors built this country and our ancestors fought wars to protect this country. We fought off the bloody Nazis to keep this country British, and you're stating that you dance on our ancestors' graves. That's absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. anyway, and then she goes on and so she's your worst nightmare and my ancestor's dream. Now your ancestor's dream would be still still keeping the slave trade going because they didn't want it to end, and still selling their people to make a quick buck. That's just the truth of the matter is, if your ancestors still had the slave trade going, you wouldn't be staying here in Britain because you're a princess. Of course you wouldn't. You wouldn't have been sold into slavery. You'd be living in the lap of luxury off the backs of the people that were sold into slavery. So what's this person say? I don't know if I want to read this. I effing hanging you, and you kind, you horrible. Oh, yeah, this isn't a good post either. While I think Shola is a race baiter, calling her the see you next Tuesday is disgusting. Telling somebody that you hate them and they're kind, that's racist. That is racist. Worst thing our ancestors done was bring you. Oh God. Well, Sean 68302. Yeah, that's absolutely disgusting. You should never be tweeting or Xing this to anybody, regardless of what I feel about Shouty. She doesn't deserve this, but then she's just as bad because she commented something just as disgusting back. And for one, like, Shola wasn't brought over here. She's a princess. And another thing, we never had slaves in the UK. Alexander the Great, who ruled like over 1,000 years ago, made it illegal for anybody to have slaves in the UK. So yeah, we never had slaves from Africa or anywhere like that in the UK. As soon as someone set foot in the UK, they automatically became a free man. That's why many slaves tried to run away to the UK, and that's why when people tried to bring slaves into the UK, the courts freed these people because, again, it's illegal to have our own slave own another human being in the UK. And as I said, it's been that way since William the Great, William the Conqueror. Sorry, I'm thinking Alexander the Great. William the Conqueror. Sorry. So yeah, you commenting that is disgusting, but also Shola commenting what she did is just as equally as disgusting and as bad. So they're both being equally racist to each other. So here's Shola being racist again. Calling someone a Karen, Karengitis to be exact, which is a derogatory term for white people. It's like calling someone a Karen is like the equivalent to using the N-word. It's, yeah. So there's Shola showing her racist tendencies. Like, so Shola's just as bad. Like, except she's racist towards white people. For some reason, she despises like white people. I don't know why she chooses to live in a country that she so despises the people of. But yeah, so let's see. The capacity of Karengitis. You cry to Elon Musk to take Shola off X, then run to protect your account after I tagged him to aid your complaint. I'm such a good sport. What a sarcastic bitch. And cry me a river. So let's see what happened. So this is the person. that she is calling a Karen. Now, this is one vile individual that should be taken off X. Yeah, I'd agree with that, because Shola has been vile to many people. Princess Catherine has just told the world she's suffering from cancer, and Shola put this out. Tighten your seatbelts. The British media is going to be insufferable for the next 48 hours. Get ready for an intensive course in revisionism and finger pointing. I'll do my best to be good, but I can't promise to be silent. Oh God, shut up, Shola. Pete Canongitis in the highest order reporting. Well, that's the same one. What's this? So she reposted this one. This one I did see. So Shola is trying to. So this is the badge that the British police wear on their uniforms. Shola and this idiot here called Michael Morgan is trying to equate the British police and our Union Jack. They're equating it to this sign here. Now, what this sign here is the sign that the Ku Klux Klan used to wear. So Shola and this lunatic is saying that the British police are racist, and they're just as bad as the Ku Klux Klan, which is not true, which is actually disgusting. The British police have many ethnicities in it. There's white people, there's black people, there's all types of religions in it. There's, for example, like there's Muslims, there's Christians, there's Jews, there's Hindus, there's Sikhs. Like, the British police are not racist. If anything, they get criticised more for the two-tier policing that they do, where they tend to let, through fear of reprisals, they'll tend to let certain groups off and handle other groups differently. And I'm sure you all know what I mean by that. But imagine equating them to the Ku Klux Klan. Someone says, love the bottom flag. Good, isn't it? Yeah, well, it is good. It's like our country's flag. But I've even seen the police arrest people for flying the British flag. So again, two-tier policing. And they put, no, they're not a meeting you guys should be in, officer. So yeah, calling the police members of the Ku Klux Klan, and Shouty's agreeing with that, because she reposted that. And you've got Mr. Plastic Fantastic. He sells Scooby-Dooby-Doo, who put out a countdown of, and how did he know this? Like, this is what I want to know. Scooby-Doo put out a countdown. He put a tweet out, and it was a countdown. And he said, like, on the tweet, a big announcement is going to be made at 6 o'clock. Like, basically, yeah, with the counting down to 6 o'clock. Basically, like, to get your popcorn ready. And what happened at 6 o'clock was Catherine gave her statement regarding her cancer diagnosis, which, like, was so disgusting she had to do that. I mean, and so disgusting that so disgusting that she felt pressure to do it, but even more disgusting that as soon as, like, the news was out, I couldn't believe, like, people were making videos monetizing off of the fact that someone was through, because I don't even know how to explain this, like, because she felt forced into, because people were creating conspiracy theories, and also her medical files had been broken into by members of the hospital staff. So she had to like release this information, and for folk to like, the first spot is to like jump on and make a video. Fine, like do that, but like I don't know, like don't monetize it, or if you do, like maybe say, I don't know, give the earnings maybe to a cancer charity or something like that. I don't know. Who am I to tell people what to do with their earnings? I know this is a job for some people. I just find like monetizing, I feel like something like that, you know, where someone's forced to have to come out and tell their diagnosis. It just felt a little bit, just a bit tacky to me, if I'm honest. It just didn't sit right. But there he is. So then after he was called out for the timer thing, like folk were like, what, how, you know, how does he know like this and that? He tried to come out with an excuse because he was called out on it, by saying that when there was word circulating that announcement was coming from the palace at 6 p.m. Now, for one, the palace wouldn't tell Scooby-Doo Jack. They know he's the mouthpiece of Mouton and Handbag. So, yeah, and he also claimed that King Charles and Princess Catherine were the so-called royal races. They wouldn't tell him. Yeah, they wouldn't. They wouldn't whisper as much as a fart in his ear. Nothing would ever go back to Omen Scobie, because everyone knows whose mouthpiece he is. So he's like came up with an excuse saying, oh, people were aware. No. The last person anyone would tell anything to is you, Mr. Plastic Fantastic. And Shouty's responded to him, well said, and don't mind hypocrites. It. There is nothing wrong with your post of the alarm in the first place. Well, yes, it was. It was a countdown to someone being forced to reveal that they had cancer. You sick bitch. Anyway, papers were relisting the drama around Kate and posted all kinds of speculation, as did you witch. Anyway, an alleged witch. Don't hex me on that. I only practice that like kind of stuff in Nigeria. So don't hex me, Shouty. Instead of holding themselves to account, they point fingers, ignore them. Maybe you should take your own advice, Shouty, because you go on. Where is it? She goes on to like then start not ignoring people that comment to her. Like, here we are. Maybe Kate's prolonged and worrisome convalescence wasn't the right time for Mouton Marco to launch American Riviera Orchid. Oh yeah, I forgot she launched that stupid brand. And Shouty's response to her, girl, shut up. So yeah, she needs to take her own advice. And then another person, she replies to, you never miss an opportunity to show what a hateful piece of work you are, do you? And then she's like, small boy, suck on your pacifier. You don't want me to make time for you. Huh? What does Shouty honestly believe that she would win like any debate or think she's so special that like people are too scared to like have her answer back to them. Maybe she'll like cast, I don't know, like maybe she's into like that. What's it they practice there? I done a video on it as well, where like people, because people literally do go missing in Nigeria. It's a horrendous thing that happens, and as I said, I made a video on it. It's like a few months ago. If you want to go and watch it, but it's so heartbreaking where like people's children and that are being going missing, or just like random people are just going missing, and what they're being used for is they're being killed for their body parts. There's a religion. I don't know. I think it's not voodoo. I can't recall what it's called. But it's in that video. I do mention it in that video, where they'll use certain parts of the body, like they'll put like a human foot under the bed for fertility. They'll use like someone's head for wealth. And so like people are kidnapped, and one taxi driver who had been kidnapped and had managed to escape and lead the police back to this place it was like in the wilderness where people were being kept. And when the police got there, all they found were people chained to the walls, and some of them had like parts of their bodies removed. Some were still alive. And there was like a stone altar in the middle of the floor that was at a slight slant, so when the blood ran off they could collect it in like some jars, because even that holds monetary value. But it was like something like out of a horror show. The Nigerian police had said. So who's Owen Jones? He's a woke. Oh God, I can't stand Owen Jones. I think the Daily Mirror should probably sit this one out. Why is that? Exclusive: Kate Middleton lookalike was at work when farm shop video. Kate Middleton clips spark social media meltdown with jokes and conspiracies. Palace knee-jerk reaction to Kate Middleton's reaction to PR crisis. Decoded hidden messages, blunder lesson from the Sussexes. Owen Jones says, "I'm ashamed," after Kate Middleton bravely shares cancer diagnosis. And then Shola's clapping about that. I don't know. And then there's her post: "Tighten your seatbelts." The British media, oh God, that means like she's like what that says to me is like, oh, tighten your seatbelts. All we're going to hear about is nothing but Catherine has cancer, as if like it's a bother for her. Well, Shola, you don't have to read it. You can scroll past, or you don't have to like read the page of the newspaper if that's what you buy. You do have the option, to scroll or flick over the page. You don't have to like sit there and read it if you don't want to. God, you're acting as if someone's holding a gun to your head making you do it. And then she goes on about revelation of Kate's cancer diagnosis makes everything we've heard from Kensington Palace in the last few weeks since Kategate. Kategate's a hashtag started by the Sussex squad. That is interesting. It makes it truly weird. Like, why would you throw a cancer patient under the bus to silence criticism over a bad Photoshop picture? Well, maybe like that's not. Well, they never intended for her cancer diagnosis to get out, Shouty. That for one, and two, like she's convalescing at home while she's like having treatment, and she's an avid like amateur photographer, and so like if she chooses to like try her hand at editing, like loads of photographers will do that. If you're taking pictures with 3 children in it, one snap might have one of the kids might have their eyes closed, and then in another one one of them might be hair might have blown the child's face. It's very hard to get 3 children all to like stay in the like one position, no fidget, smile, you know. So normally like photographers will take a series of photographs, and then they'll edit in the best picture of each one of the people they've photographed. And that's obviously what they've done. There's obviously maybe Louis had his eyes closed, or he's sticking his tongue out in one, and maybe in the next one, like it's a better picture, so she's put the better picture in. You know, like and again, like they never intended for this cancer diagnosis to be put out in the public domain. It was because of bullies like the Sussex Squad and the likes of you and Scooby Doo and even Dan, like, and I know a lot of people like. I've got a video I want to make on Dan Wooten, because like I still have not forgiven him for what he did to Johnny Depp, and like, and also for he was the one that basically created that bloody lie. Well, he started the rumour off that then spun into the lie that William was having an affair with Rose Hanbury. So he's never apologised about that. He's never really apologised to Johnny Depp. He said he's sorry for getting involved in their marriage, but he's not. He never once apologised for calling him a wife beater, even though it was proven in court that he's not. Like, that's the apology when like people wanted to hear, not just him saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, I should never have got involved," but like, and then add a but with a but. But I understand why he did do that, because Johnny would have sued him, and he'd be scared to admit that that he was wrong and shouldn't have called Johnny Depp a wife beater, because that would be grounds for him to be sued, and he doesn't have the protection of the son behind him anymore. So the apology realistically should have been, I should never have called Johnny Depp a wife beater. He could have worded it this way: after listening to all the evidence and the recordings from the court case in America, it gave him the chance to come to the conclusion that Amber was the one who was abusive and not Johnny. But because he's friendly with Amber Heard and Amber's girlfriend, oh god, that woman, she's a Scottish woman, but we don't claim her. God, what's her name again? Barlow, her. Yeah. We Scots don't claim you, Eve. You're just as horrendous as Amber. But and then the fact that he basically insinuated that there was something going on between William and Rose Hanbury, which then snowballed into a bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger story. Yeah, he's never apologised for that either. It seems like Dan, he can give it, but he can't take it, because when it's him that's been critiqued, it's boo hoo hoo hoo. I've been vilified by the media, or my ex, and I've been accused of this, that, and the other. And but yeah, so he wants our sympathy, and our support for himself, but like he didn't give any sympathy for the likes of Johnny Depp, the likes of Prince William and Rose Hanbury, and even that poor girl who she was presented Love Island. Her name escapes me right now. Caroline Flack, who he bullied mercilessly, and holds a place deep to my heart. She ended up committing suicide. She unalived herself because of the bullying that went on towards her. Yeah, and like, I'm not going to go into it in this. Sorry, I'm getting too deep now. But yeah, so yeah, I can't forgive him, and I want to do. So I do want to do a video calling out Dan Wooten, because I know everybody applauds and loves him because he calls out Mouton and Handbag, but yeah, I just can't get past the fact that the amount of lives that he's ruined, and that he hasn't really taken accountability for it. I mean, that half-ass apology that he done with Megyn Kelly, yeah, that wasn't an apology. And other people, I mean, I could list names and names of people that Dan Wooten, who has ruined their lives, or created stories about them that just weren't true. So yeah. So future video, this video's getting. Oh my god! Look what she's wrote here. Dr. Shola Moss Sugarbamumu. Cancer is a bitch. Get well soon. I can't believe she said, like, oh my god. Cancer is a bitch. Get well soon. You unsympathetic, evil POS. Cancer is, like, can you, I sometimes start to think nothing that Shouty says shocks me, but that just has. On the post that Catherine put up explaining that she has cancer, Shouty put cancer as a bitch. Get well soon. Unbelievable. Who made you? Banshees, the get well please. You think me wishing Catherine get better from cancer, sir, as I would any other human. Now, I doubt that very much, Shouty. I doubt you'd go up to a cancer patient and go, oh, cancer's a bitch. Get well soon. I doubt very much that is how you would address them. So stop lying. You're talking out your ass. And it means I can't criticise the royal family. No one says you can't criticise the royal family, but I have a little bit of empathy. God's sake. I bet you if it wasn't, I mean, like, she thinks that, well, I bet you if it was Meghan, it would be, the post would be totally different. It would be, oh, I'm so sorry for Mouton Markle. Such a shame, and such a strong woman of colour. Can't believe she's got cancer. She must have caught it from those evil white racist royals. They must have coughed on her and gave it. Oh, she's unbelievable. And then she calls like you dementors for your hypocrisy. Like, unbelievable. Get thee behind me, Satan. You can't really get behind Satan because you are Satan, Shouty. You want to afford Kate privacy. You didn't afford Mouton. People did afford Mouton privacy. Her and her handbag husband were the ones that violated their own privacy by selling every aspect of their life to Netflix, to books, to magazines, to interviews on multiple platforms. Yeah, you name it. We've heard like they would tell a fly their story if they thought that fly would sit and listen. Mouton would be like, "Oh, do you know how I changed the ad for soap dish commercial? It used to say all women can clean pots and pans, and me, myself, and I got it changed to everybody can clean pots and pans." She's such a Lee Kittle. She's had surgery. You shout, but you didn't leave. What? Oh God! I hear you're enraged about this post. Guess what? I stand by every word too. Chud. She's such a sick woman. Yeah. Ugh. Anyway, I'll leave that here because it's getting extremely long. And I'll be back with a more edited video. It'll be on the sugars. Then I've got a conspiracy video because, like, obviously conspiracy theory videos have been on hold while I've not been great. I might do a live, do like question kind of answery things, and you can ask like and then talk about where I've been, why I've not been online, what's been going on with me, if yous are interested in finding out. But let me know in the comments, and let me know in the comments like what you think about like Shola and her attitude towards that. Do you think that's disgusting that she said that cancer's a bitch? Let me know in the comments what you think about like some of the crap that Shola said, and also if you want, put suggestions down for some conspiracy theory videos that you would like to see. I was thinking about maybe doing like HARP. We could maybe do like the moon landing. That's JFK, 9/11. Even though I know maybe that's a bit touchy at the moment because of like the war that's going on in Israel and in Gaza. So I'll maybe leave that one off the table for now. But yeah, like anyone that you would like me to do, I've like been getting a few books to research more so I can get information more accurate. So like also like ones like to do even like Marilyn Monroe, like do you think she died or do you think she was killed by the CIA? But that could also tie into a JFK video. Just let me know in the comments what you think. I'm rabbiting on now. And yeah, it's time to go. Anyway, I love y'all so much. I've missed y'all so much. And I'll be back later. Bye.